Hi everyone, this is Heather Smith with Storyville Photography, and today I'm going to show you how to achieve this edit. This is my son in his little airplane, and this is where we're going to finish, and here is where we are going to begin. So, finished product, and where we're going to start. So as you can see, it was pretty wasn't your typical overcast day. It was kind of gray out and the light was really flat, and I typically wouldn't shoot in this, but we were already dressed and ready to go, and that's when the sun disappeared. But we will bring in a lot of color in post-production and kind of save this. So the first thing I want to do is make a copy of the background layer, and then I'm going to go to the filters and the camera raw filter. And I'm just going to warm the temperature up a little bit. And I'm going to pull the shadows completely up and dim the highlights a little. And the next thing I want to do is make a copy of that layer. And I'm going to zoom in. And I just want to clean my sun up a little bit here. As you can see, he has some dark circles kicking and he has his tag hanging out. So to solve that, I'm just going to grab the patch tool. And I like to use this to kind of make dark circles blend a little bit. You can take them completely away or play with the opacity and leave a little bit to make it more natural looking. He's got a little bit of hair there too. It was just a hot mess of a day, but I really just loved how excited he was in this image, and I had to edit it anyway, regardless of some of the imperfections. Got some random hair. This harsh line. Not going to spend too much time on it because I already have one edited, but you guys get the gist of it. Here, a little more hair. There we go. So, like I said, you can play with the opacity. You can leave a little bit of it to make it a little more natural, or you can take it completely away. We're going to just leave a little bit there. And then to delete the tag, I obviously want it at 100% opacity, so I'm going to select it all, Command A, and then copy it all, Shift Command C, and Command V. And your shortcuts might be a little bit different if you changed them from the Adobe Raw or the Photoshop settings, but that's just what mine are. I'm going to take the spot healing tool and just get rid of that tag. And that looks good enough for me. So before and after, and I should have showed you that on the other layer, before and after. So now that I gave them a quick retouch on that, I'm going to flatten my image, layer, flatten image. And then I want to go over into my actions panel, and I'm going to use the Storyville Twisted Matte. This is inside of the Dreamy Matte Action Pack, guys. I get this question a lot. It's in a pack of 3, so you will find it in there. And hit play. Now, as you can see, this action comes on strong, and you're like, whoa, what is going on? I already know I don't want the matte on there. And the base, I'm going to turn it down. I always like to start at 0 and then kind of crank it up to see where it just starts to blend to where you don't really get some harsh swirl lines. And then you always want to mask this off of your subject, the base. So you grab a soft black brush at 100% opacity, 100% of flow. And you can either really zoom in, but at this low of opacity, you're not going to have a halo, so I'm just going to kind of run it over him. And that looks good to me. So it's very subtle, but I just love the effect of it. And then the highlights, I want to turn up to 100%. And then contrast will probably go around 65, kind of turn it down. And that looks good to me. And because it was kind of already dark, I'm going to turn off this darken edges. We really don't need it for this image. And for the color dazzle, I'm going to keep it at I don't know, 53% looked good to me. And just take a soft black brush at 50% opacity and kind of mask some of it off of his skin. As you can tell, he's already a little magenta-y. Just from the lighting that I had and his hat, everything just kind of played against me here. So I don't want to keep him too vibrant, if that makes sense. So there's the before and after with that action. And the next thing I want to do is go into the Storyville Retouch, and I want to brighten skin and eyes. So I'm going to select that and hit play, open the group, and I'm going to hit the brighten eyes at 100% opacity. It'll come on strong, and then I will dial it back. Make sure it's a white brush. And then turn it down a little bit. And then same for the brightened skin. I want to brighten him up just a little bit. I'm not going to touch the hot spots already. That was already over there. I'm going to turn it down and just keep it up ever so slightly. Hit his hand a little. He just looks so happy with that little airplane. I can't even handle it. So that is the before and after with that. And now I want to reduce a little bit of that magenta I was talking about in his skin. So I'm going to go into the Storyville Skin Color Correction, and I'm going to hit play. I'm going to open it up, and you'll see all of these different options. And I want to go to the Reduce Magenta, Soft White Brush, 100% opacity. And as I paint this on, you'll notice he will turn a little green. And that is just going to help balance them out. And I'm also going to hit his hat a little bit to tone that down. Then I'm just going to have it up ever so slightly at about 18%. But as you can see, it kind of took some of that magenta out of his skin and helped balance it. I'm going to hit his hands a little. There we go. And so the next thing I want to do is, I don't like the blue going on in a shirt and pants with the overall outfit. So I'm going to take a hue and saturation adjustment layer, and you just want to hit this hand thing, and it's going to pull out the blue that is in his shirt, and I'm just going to crank that saturation way down. And as you can see, it took it out of the pants and the shirt. If you had blue in other areas that you wanted to keep it, then I would just convert it into a black mask and paint it on the area you wanted to get the blue away from, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. But here, the only blue was on my son, and it is gone now. So that is the before and after, and it's much, much more eye appealing to me anyway, with the other colors he has going on. The next thing I want to do is select the Ultimate Dodge and Burn. I absolutely love this action. And I'm going to, first off, you got to open it up. It's all in a group, and then you'll see individual groups that you can open and work within the layers. Now, I'm going to first work within the Dodge and Burn combo. It will dodge and burn at the same time. It's just fantastic. If you had more than one subject in here, say you had, I don't know, 3 kids, you would want to make 3 different layers of this just by hitting Command J. And then you would have a dodge and burn copy for each subject, because sometimes one you want a little extra, or the clothing might be a little bit different and you'll need a higher opacity or a lower opacity. So that's what I would recommend doing. For here, I just have my son, so I'm going to leave it at 1. And I'm going to take a soft white brush at 100% opacity and just kind of paint it over his clothes. If you were printing or going to blow it up, I would take time and really make sure you don't have a halo. But I'm not going to bore you guys by spending all this time on it. I just love the metallic-y feel you get from this. It's my favorite. And then you have, different layers that you can just dodge, just burn. You can also make copies of those too. And then you can do the skin and hair. I'm going to select Dodge 1 and just kind of run it over my son's hair a little bit. I might touch up his eyes even more, brighten them. Little hand. And that looks good to me. So this is the before and after so far. It just makes such a difference. Now I'm going to go into the environment, and I'm going to hit the Dodge and Burn combo again, and I'm going to run it all over the background. As I start painting this on, you'll see some blown out areas in the grass, but we will just go back with a black black brush and take it away. So I'm going to lower the opacity, and that looks pretty good to me there. So I'm going to lower the brush opacity to about 51%, select black, and then take away the blown out areas. Voila! It's like magic, right guys? I just love Photoshop so much. That's the before and after. The next thing I want to do is add kind of a purpley color into the background. And to do that, I am going to go into the Crazy for Color pack, and I'm going to select the Perfect Plum and hit play. And then I'm going to take a soft white brush at 100% opacity. And again, like most of my things, it's going to come on strong. I really like to see where I'm painting. I'm just going to go over the top there, and then we're going to dim it down. And I like to leave some of the green that was in the bottom. It just plays really well together. And I think now that I have the purple on, I want to dial back the dodge and burn a little bit on the environment. So I'm going to just click on there and dial it back. There we go. Okay, so that's with the plum. Might add just a little bit more into here. There, and that looks good to me. Oops. Okay, and I want to grab a sun overlay. Just add a little bit something extra to an otherwise flat image. So select it, copy it. Oh, that's the before. I'm saving for you guys so we can jump over there when we're all done and you can be wowed. So put it on there, hit screen mode, Command T for free transform, and I'm just going to stick it right up there. And then as you can see, there's like a line that goes right through there. To fix that, you can either add a layer mask and brush it off with a soft black brush, or you can just go to blur, Gaussian blur, and around 36–40% will take that line away. Awesome. And now I want a little sparkle in the grass. So to do that, I'm going to grab the Storyville Sparkle Overlay number 1, select it, copy it, did it again, sorry guys, and paste. Then I'm going to go to Soft Light, Command T will bring it down. And I do not want it to be this yellow color. So to do that, just take the adjustment, grab a hue and saturation adjustment layer, hit this downward arrow so it only affects the sparkle overlay, and decrease the saturation. Now I just want to paint it on the bottom, so I'm going to add a layer mask, invert it, Command I, grab a soft white brush, 100% opacity, and just kind of hit it around the bottom. And that looks good to me, before and after. And that's the before and after of the sun that I forgot to do. And I kind of want to just get rid of a little bit more of that yellow. Sorry, it's been a really long day, guys. Just bear with me in my mumbling. There we go. And I'm going to invert that, Command I, paint that on the bottom there with a soft white brush. And that looks good. It took more of that yellowy away. And now I just kind of want to brighten up the image overall. So I'm going to take a curves layer and I'm just going to brighten that, pull up the highlights. And I want to mask that mostly off of my sun's skin. So soft black brush, 100%, not 100%. We'll go at like 62 and kind of work our way with blending. There we go. Before and after. That looks really good to me. So I just want to dim his pink hat down again, just a little bit. It really took on like this fluorescent, which I don't mind a little bit, but it was a little bit strong for me. And it looks like it only affected the hat, so I don't need to worry about masking off other areas. And for his sweater, as you can see, it also took on like a tone. It was a brown sweater to start with, but it kind of turned purpley. And I actually like it, but we do still have a little bit of the brown spots left, which I want to blend a little bit more. So to do that, I'm just going to grab a new layer, and I'm going to grab my brush, and I'm going to hit the, I had to look at see what I was hitting, the option button, and select that purpley color. And then I'm going to turn this down a little bit. I might change the blending mode of the layer, but just kind of want to paint on this area. And the normal actually works pretty fine. Normally I'll turn it to soft light or something, but just kind of blend it a little bit more. Good, and that looks good to me, before and after. And now I'm going to flatten this. And I want to finish it by running the smoothing and sharpening action. So I'm going to go into the actions and I'm going to hit the smoothing, which is the first step. Hit play. And you can leave this at 100% opacity or you can dial it back as much as you want. For this, I'm going to leave it at like 60%, and it kind of just smooths out like the imperfections that I don't enjoy very much. And then I'm going to just keep that area highlighted when I hit the step 2 with sharpen and hit play. And as you can see, that kind of sharpened it up too. We'll leave it about 41%. And that about does it, guys. So this is where we ended, and this is where we began. So our final product and where we started. Pretty drastic difference, I would say. Anyway, you can find everything I used here at www.storyvillephotography.com. Have a great day, guys. Bye.